Hello guys, this is the free-to-play dude, and welcome again for another video in Epic 7. And now today we are gonna talk about the new Moonlight hero that is coming in less than 3 days now. It's gonna be the Moonlight Charles, the Closer Charles, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts about this unit and if it's worth pulling or not, in my opinion. And in particular, we are gonna talk about a specific question. So, is it better to have a CR booster or a CR pusher? So there are two kind of CR manipulators in this game, CR boosters and CR pushers. The first one are heroes that are gonna push the combat readiness of your team by a certain amount, and that's the case for the Closer Charles and also of heroes like Faithless Lydica or Rose, for example. And a CR pusher instead is a hero that is gonna push back the enemy team by a certain amount, and that's the case for heroes like Bazaar or Operator Secret. And in general, CR boosters are almost always better. Let's see why, because they look pretty similar as mechanic, but they have key differences. So the first main difference, and this is big between the two, is that with the same quantity of CR push or boost, CR boosters require lower speed on your damage dealers to follow up. And you need to be really careful with that when you are speed tuning your units, because that makes a huge difference. So this is my Operator Secret, but let's say you have a Charles with 285 speed. When you push the button, you want your units to be at 80% combat readiness to get a turn instantly after, because they're gonna be pushed by 20% and they are gonna be at 100% CR boost. So the speed you require on your damage dealers to follow up is gonna be 285 times 80 divided by 100. So you're gonna need 228 speed on your damage dealer to be speed tuned correctly. That's different if you're using an Operator Secret with 285 speed, because she's gonna push the enemy back by 20%. So your damage dealers still need to cover all the 100% combat readiness bar, but your enemy instead is gonna cover 120% combat readiness, because they're gonna cover 100% plus the 20 you push them back. So the calculation in this time is gonna be 285 times 100 divided by 120, and you're gonna need almost 238 speed this time on your damage dealers to follow up. And this is a 10 speed difference. Stats that you can use on your attack, crit damage, or crit chance. And this is a huge difference. You need to be really careful when you speed tune your units, because otherwise, if you outspeed by a tiny bit, your opponent is just gonna cut you and is gonna stop your damage dealers to do their job. So that's a key difference, guys. Another huge difference in favor of CR boosters is that they don't care about effectiveness, they don't care about effect resistance, and they don't care about RNG. So when you push your button with your Closer Charles, you're gonna push 20% combat readiness on your whole team 100% of the times. You don't have to build effectiveness, you don't have to be afraid of the 15%, you're just gonna push and that's it. And that's gonna help you a lot, especially in the draft phase, because you're gonna be 100% sure of what is gonna happen, the order of the turns, and you don't have to care about the RNG and think about that. And also, you don't have to build effectiveness either, because you're gonna push no matter what the effect resistance is, and this way you can use those stats, for example, to build a lot of attack, crit damage and crit chance, for example, or even make your unit tankier, because you don't have to spend 250 effectiveness in your units. And another big one advantage for the CR boosters is that they don't care about hitting the enemy units. So for example, if you have an Operator Secret and you're against a Violet, Remnant Violet, or things with Moonlight Dreamlet, for example, Tisurin, most of the times you are not gonna push that units, and they are gonna probably be a problem for you. But if you are using a CR booster like Moonlight Charles, again, you're just gonna push your team by 20%, you don't care of hitting the enemy units, because that doesn't matter. So what are the disadvantages then of the CR boosters against the CR pushers? And for a long time, they had no disadvantages, but Smilegate corrected that some months ago, and the only problem for CR boosters against CR pushers is the Politis. This unit is gonna cut you 50% of the CR you get, so you can only CR boost for half the amount. And I think Smilegate was very smart in this, as before Politis there was no disadvantages in using CR boosters. They just work 100% of the times and they just do better in any situation. There is only one kind of situations you could prefer a CR pusher instead of a CR booster, and that is against super slow teams, cause if you push back a unit that is super slow, for example an SSB with 0 speed by 30% like with Bazaar, she's never gonna take a turn again, cause she is too slow and she's gonna get a lot of time to cover that 30% CR again. This is why Bazaar is super strong against tank comps, but again, usually CR boosters are almost always better. Okay, that was everything about it, and the closer Charles is a CR booster, so that's a huge point in his advantage. Another good point is that he's also gonna increase the attack of all allies for 2 turns, so you can cleave more effectively. This is one of the reasons he may works in cleave. Now, these were the advantages points, but he has also a lot of bad points. So, number 1, he has a weird kit. And what I mean by that? I mean, people are probably gonna use this guy in 2 manners, as an initiator or as a bruiser, and in both cases, he's not gonna use at his best his whole kit. If you're using him as an initiator, he don't care about evasion, and he probably don't care about the skill 2 combat readiness increase, because even if you increase his combat readiness, he's gonna follow up with the S1, and if he's an initiator, he's not gonna do that much damage anyway. That looks like you are only gonna care about skill 3, and if you're using him as a bruiser instead, you don't really care about the combat readiness increase. You care a little bit more against this combat readiness increase, so you can build him slower with a lot more damage, and he's gonna take turns anyway. But I've already seen the multipliers and in the damage calculator, and these multipliers are just kind of bad, so even if you build him as a bruiser, there are probably better options. Why would you use this guy instead of a Riolet or a Violet? Another bad point for him is that he's a Thief Scorpio, so he's gonna have the same stats as Baiken, and Baiken is another CR booster that nobody is using. He has the same speed as Baiken too, so kind of on the low side for a CR initiator. Another bad things about him is he doesn't strip, like Operator Secret for example. Is a CR booster is more effective than Operator Secret because she's a CR pusher. She does kind of the same job, but she also stripped the immunity, so you can set up some defense break and other stuff. So yeah, so overall guys, it does the same job as other units, and I think there are way better options, so I don't suggest summoning for this guy. I'm gonna try to summon for him anyway, because I have ton of resources, but I'm not gonna go PT for sure, it's not worth it. Anyway guys, that was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, please leave a like if you enjoy, and let me know in the comments what you think about the CR pushers or CR boosters, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye!